So you were here for a divorce?
Yes. I want to talk about paternity. I want to have paternity of my kids.
Do you mean custody?
I want custody too. I want to have all the custody.
How often should your kids see your husband?
Never. He is a bad dad. He don't play with them or nothing. My new boyfriend is their dad now.
How long have you known your new boyfriend?
3 weeks.
Did you know he's been convicted of child abuse?
It didn't happen.
Twice.
Didn't happen that time either.
The second time was a felony.
Look, his ex-girlfriend just likes to start shit. Besides, my husband molested my baby.
How did you find out about that?
I came home one day and my baby had a rash on his butt. I hear that happens when you molest them. There can't be any other explanation for it.
I am sure CPS will get right on that. Where are you living these days?
I live with my boyfriend, and his mom, and his dad, and 4 other people. I don't know their names. But this is only temporary. When the divorce is over, my boyfriend and me are moving to Guam.
That's nice. Have your children ever been to Guam before?
No, but I'm sure they'll like it. I've heard it's pretty.
It's going to be hard for the kids to see their dad if he lives here, and you live in Guam.
I've already told you, they shouldn't see their dad. Ever.
That does not happen in very many cases.
Look, are you a lawyer or not? Just do your damn job and get me all the paternity.
We were going to need some more evidence if we want to show that the kids should never see their dad.
Evidence is no problem. My mom will testify that he's mean. And my dad will testify that I am a good mom.
Do you know any witnesses who aren't related to you? Like a daycare provider or something?
Well, there's my babysitter, but there are warrants out for him, so I don't think he'll come to court. Can he just write a letter to the judge?
No. Letters are not evidence because you cannot cross-examine a letter.
But he's really honest. I can get a whole bunch of letters from people who say he's honest.
Dare I ask, what are the warrants for?
It was a misunderstanding. They were teenagers, and they were experimenting, and they were cousins, and…
I don't think we should call your babysitter as a witness. In fact, maybe you should find a different babysitter.
Don't you tell me how to raise my kids. You can't judge me.
We are going to go to court. Judging people is what they do there. That is why the person in charge of a court is called a judge.
This is ridiculous. My husband just needs to accept that my kids are not his kids anymore and start paying child support.
Child support is based on a formula. It determines what percentage of your kids' expenses you will each pay, based on your incomes.
Oh, well, my income is 0.
If you don't have a job, we have to pretend that you are working full-time at minimum wage.
That is crazy. I can't work. I am disabled. I have migraines. And fibromyalgia. And multiple chemical sensitivity.
That sure sounds bad. Do you take aspirin or something to control your pain?
I am allergic to every single pain reliever except Vicodin.
Okay, he may ask to see your prescription in Discovery.
What? That is private. My aunt says I do not have to give him my prescriptions.
Where did your aunt go to law school?
My aunt got divorced in 1992, so she knows what she's talking about. She said I should get full paternity.
Even if you do get full paternity, you will have to pay for some of your children's expenses.
Well, I can pay some of the expenses for Dakota and Savannah, but he had better pay all the expenses for Madison and Liam. It was his idea to have more kids. I didn't even want those 2.
Madison and Liam are in the next room. They can hear you.
Liam is just a baby.
Madison is 6.
Okay, well, then he should also pay alimony.
He makes $8 an hour and is $70,000 in debt. He does not have any money with which to pay you alimony.
But his uncle is rich.
So you would like his uncle to pay you alimony?
I don't care how he gets the money. I deserve alimony so I can pay for my pain meds. Look, I'm having a migraine right now. That reminds me. My husband should not have any paternity because he is going to kidnap my kids and take them to Mexico.
Your husband is not from Mexico. He is from Sandusky, Ohio.
But his uncle went to Cabo San Lucas once for vacation. I think he knows people there. They would totally kidnap my kids.
It is going to take a lot of testimony to prove that.
You mean I have to prove it? That's not fair. Why shouldn't he have to prove that he won't take them to Mexico?
Maybe you should write to your congressman and get him to change the evidence rules.
I want to talk about property now. I want the Ford F-350.
Okay. How much do you owe on it?
About $25,000.
Do you have another car that you don't owe so much money on?
Yes, we have a Honda that's paid for.
Maybe it would be better to ask for the Honda. That way, you won't have to worry about making payments on it.
I want the F-350.
You owe a lot of money on it and you don't have a job.
I need the F-350.
It will get repossessed if you don't make the payments.
Can't my husband make the payments and me get the truck? I need the F-350 because the Honda is not good in the snow.
I thought you were moving to Guam.
Well, then I'll need the F-350 on all those jungle roads. Make sure I get the F-350.
Is there any other property you want?
I want $6,000.
Why do you want $6,000?
When I moved out, my husband threw away some of my Beanie Babies. He needs to pay me $6,000 to replace them.
How did you arrive at that figure?
I paid $6,000 to buy them back in the 90s, so that is how much they are worth.
Beanie Babies are not worth that much money anymore.
Yes, they are.
You can buy Beanie Babies for $2 a piece at St. Vincent de Paul's.
I bet that's what he did with my Beanie Babies. I am going to go right over there today and demand that they give me my Beanie Babies back.
So you were planning to go over to a charity and ask them to confiscate toys from underprivileged children?
I have to protect my investment.
Now, what about debts?
He needs to pay them all.
Even the debt to the jeweler?
Especially the debt to the jeweler.
That debt was for the ring you bought your new boyfriend.
Yep. I got him one of those open heart collection rings from Kay Jeweler. The one that Dr. Quinn does the commercial for. He got me one, too. See?
So is that the second debt to Kay Jewelry that I'm seeing here?
Okay, well, I bought it but my boyfriend's gonna pay me back.
Why didn't he just buy it himself?
He has bad credit.
Do you know how people get bad credit?
No.
People get bad credit by borrowing money and not paying it back.
He will pay me back. He promised.
But you are still sure that your husband should pay both those debts?
Well, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have had to go get a new boyfriend if he'd been a real dad like he's supposed to.
Let's talk about my retainer.
Retainer? Does that mean I have to pay you? That's crazy. I don't have any money. I am poor and I am disabled. You have a nice office and a fancy suit. You should just work for free. Also, I am pregnant again.
I'm sorry, but you have just broken my brain. PH and Gluim Gulnf, Chulawarli Egan Egelf,